Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk about what happened on Stranger Things Season 5, Episode 2, The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler. Three different, basically, chapters are going on, I'm going to call them. The first one I'm going to talk about is what happened at the end of last episode where the Demogorgon shows up in Holly Wheeler's room from a portal from the Upside Down. It starts right off from that. It attacks her, throws her into the wall, like I don't know how many times. Slashes her for his claws. And then starts to drag her and gonna take her through the portal into the Upside Down. But she manages to get away and is running throughout the house looking for her parents. Her dad's outside playing golf, and her mom's in the bathroom getting ready to have a nice old bubble bath. So she runs in the bathroom, tries to tell mom a monster's after me, but her mom doesn't believe her because she's also been seeing this person called What's It, a gentleman she's been talking to that's saying that monsters are real and he'll keep her safe and nobody else can see this person, right? Just Holly. So her mom is skeptical about this monster thing, right? Until the Demogorgon starts growling and making war noises and smashing the house. So her mother and Holly hide inside the bathtub as the Demogorgon comes in and it knows that they're close by, right? So it's like creepy crawling right up to the bathtub and shows Holly and the mother, like my intro picture of this video, like in the water, holding the breath. And her father, Holly's father, hears the commotion outside, comes in and attacks the Demogorgon with his golf club. That doesn't do nothing. That thing just flings him halfway through a wall into Holly's room. Then Holly and her mother try to escape the house, and the Demogorgon attacks him in the kitchen. Holly's mother fights it off by grabbing a champagne bottle, breaks it, and starts like hacking, slashing away at it. Then it goes to Nancy and Mike, 11, and Luke, sorry, trying to get to the house, right? Because Will now has this ability where he can see what's happening through the Demogorgon's eyes. So Nancy and 11 get to the house first, and there's blood everywhere. So the house is ripped to shreds, and Holly's gone. The only thing left is a shoe. And her mother is all cut up in the kitchen. Nancy's freaking out because her mom's like basically, all banged up there. And 11 picks up Holly's shoe and hears Holly screaming. And there's a portal at a doorway and it's closing. So now we know that Demogorgon has to take Holly into the Upside Down. 11, being badass as she is, just goes right through that portal to save her. Nancy ends up calling 911. Ambulance shows up. Her dad's alive too. They're barely hanging on. They're in critical condition. So at this point, Nancy, Mike, her brother, showed up with Lucas, and they head to the hospital. And basically at the hospital, Lucas like, do you know something? Well, I don't think this is a coincidence. What are you talking about? Today is November the 3rd. Yeah. The exact day that Will went missing years ago when he was abducted by one of those monsters. What's the coincidence that it's now abducting another kid, right? And this time it just happens to be Mike and Nancy's younger sister. Mike and Nancy think that Vecna did this to get back at them, right? For what happened last season. Lucas thinks that something else is going on, right? There's got to be another reason why that's happened, why he sent one of his monsters after Holly. Because he said, if that was the case, why did he not kill your parents, right? Just left them there. Why did he not kill Holly, right? Like, there's got to be another reason. So he goes to visit Max, who's still in a coma, but as he's talking to her, telling her what's happening, if you watch closely, her heartbeat spikes up. So that might be a sign Max is coming back, snapping out of that coma. If that's the case, she's going to want some vengeance on her hands when she wants to tackle Becca again. Then Nancy and Mike decide to talk to her mom and try to figure out maybe this wasn't person is actually real, right? Maybe Holly is talking to this person, and there's a reason why nobody else can see him. So they're talking to Nancy's mom, the mom, sorry, and she can't talk, right? She's going to write down. So she writes down what's it, and then they said, any chance you know, like, the first name, like, what this person looks like? So she writes down brown jacket, top hat, pocket watch, glasses, first name Henry. And then I'll get to what that means. The second chapter fan I want to talk about is just a short one. Steve, Jonathan is still in the van driving for Hawkins, trying to avoid the army patrols. Because Hopper is going to come out at a location when he exits a portal from the upside down, right? So they're going to pick him up and get him away before the army catches them. So they're just driving around when they hear on the radio about what's happened, right? There's an attack at the Weirdo's house. So Steve tells Jonathan, get your ass to the hospital, be with your girlfriend Nancy. She needs you. Jonathan does still understand that he's got a girlfriend, right? What duties are basically for, as a boyfriend. And wants to help Steve find Hopper still. And Steve's like, dude, I could do this my own, man. Like, you don't get it, man. Nancy needs you for support, dude. And Jonathan starts mouthing off to him, like, hey, look, you're all macho, trying to, flirt with her still, trying to one-up me, competition, stuff like that. Like, who can race the radio tower the fastest to the top. He said, you gotta get it, man. She likes me. She used to like you, but she likes me now. Get over it. And Steve understands. Steve tells him, like, I'm not after Nancy. She's a friend of mine, right? Of course I'm going to protect her, right? Of course I'm still got feelings for her, but I understand she chose you over me. Well, he's trying to tell Jonathan, like, you got to man up, man, right? And be there for her. Then suddenly, Dustin shows up on his bicycle. The poor guy's got like a bloody nose, a black eye. And they're like, what the hell happened to you, man? Dustin doesn't tell him about the high school bullies, like the jocks from the sports team attacking him at the graveyard from last episode. And Steve and Jonathan knows that that's what's happened, right? Because they've been sticking up for him from the bullies. Dustin says something, though, which I thought was intriguing. He says, like Steve says, how did you get away? And Dustin says, I don't want to talk about it. Why does Dustin not want to talk about how he got away from them? There's got to be a reason why, right? There's no way he got away by himself. Unless they just left him after they were done beating him up. I'm thinking, what if, and I know it's a long stretch, I'm one of the fans out there that's hoping Eddie's coming back for the season. What if Eddie saved Dustin at the graveyard, at the cemetery? Because think about it, Eddie died in the Upside Down, but there's been talks about Vecna saving him, turning him into like a servant of his, right? Like a vampire kind of thing. So what if Eddie saved Dustin in the cemetery, killed those jocks, those bullies, or chased them away, and Dustin wants to keep that Eddie's alive, but he's changed a secret for now. Why else would he not want to explain how he got away, right? There's got to be a reason behind that. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know below in the comments. Why do you think Dustin does want to tell Steve and Jonathan how he got away? Last chapter to talk about is at the radio station, Robin, Will, and Will's mom. I'm sorry, I forget her name. I was going to call, the actress Winona Ryder. I talk about Will's new abilities, right? And how much it took a toll on him for the first time seeing through the eyes of the monsters, right? What's happening from their view, right? He says that this could be news for good, for their benefit. He said, maybe I could spy on Vecna to figure out what's going on. And his mom's like, no, I don't think so, right? This ain't happening. She's putting her foot down. She's basically saying, you're not using these powers again. I'm not putting your life at risk. Robin lies to her and says that she needs Will's help to climb the watchtower because the fuse box or something, a fuse panel or something's down, whatever, a flux capacitor or something. She falls for the lie. Robin tells Will, if we go back to where you are abducted, maybe maybe you can have a vision or something again, right? From areas or places you've been attacked, right? You and your friends. So they take off and go to where Will was abducted when he was a kid years ago. And nothing's happening. But then they come across a circle of rocks that's made, right? And then Will sees something off in the distance and they hear something. So they run, and they're on the bike, so the bike and running. And they come across the school, and it's nighttime. And all of a sudden, Will has a vision again. And he's seeing Holly at the merry-go-round thing. He's seeing Holly talking to Mr. What's-It, a.k.a. Henry, a.k.a. Vecna. Vecna is basically using his human form as Henry to trick Holly and then abducts her, right? But then all of a sudden, Will sees all these kids come up on a school bus, and they also can see What's-It, some of the kids. Because they say, "Hi, Mr. What's-It, what's up?" as they walk by. So Holly's not the only kid that can see this person, can see Henry in his human form. There's a kid with glasses. There's another kid. They say his name. So Will tells Robin, like, Holly's not the only kid that has seen this person, this Mr. What's-It, right? And Will lets Robin know that Mr. What's-It is Henry, a.k.a. Vecna. And then Robin says to Will, so there was a Demogorgon around there, and Will ends the episode saying, "No, I was seeing through Henry Vecna's eyes. He was seeing what he was seeing. So he said, I'm connected to Vecna somehow, too." That's how that episode ends. That's a cliffhanger for sure right there. I can't wait for episode 3. Basically, how they gonna... Oh, yeah, sorry. I gotta hit myself. The 11's in the Upside Down, basically, and she found Hopper. She actually thought it was a Demogorgon or Vecna coming after her because she just saw a shadow in the distance and like twig snap, and she sent him flying into a tree by losing her powers. So they're basically in the Upside Down version of Hawkins looking for Holly to jet her. And Hopper basically tells 11 he loves her like a daughter, right? Like a new daughter for him. And he tells her he lost his first daughter, Sarah, by cancer. His wife left him after that. So 11 understands why he's been so protective of her, right? And they come across this huge wall. And it's full of tentacles, vines, and eggs. And those eggs are like going like this. There's something alive in those eggs. All throughout that wall. And that's how it's like a dead end. So now they know, and Holly's out of shoes at the end of this wall. So now they know she's at the underside of this wall. They gotta get through there. Yeah, so I cannot wait for episode 3. Now that Will knows, he can also see what Vecna is doing from his eyesight, from his ability. Now he knows he's connected to him. I'm throwing it out there. This is my thinking. Maybe Vecna is choosing these kids for a reason. And I'm just thinking. What if, like, Vecna knows that he needs, like, a new host, a new body host, right? Like, say it was if he dies, but his soul, his spirit, whatever, could possess someone else. Maybe these kids are his, like, possible vessels he could take over. And he's going to eventually take over Will's body. And Will is going to become, like, the new Vecna. And then he's going to fight his friends. That could be something huge, right? Is John Finkel realize that Steve's right and that he should have went to the hospital to be by Nancy's side? Or is he just going to blow things up with her and she's going to leave him? Like, if he doesn't smart up, she's going to kick him to the curb, man. And probably go back with Steve. What's Miss Ryder going to do when she found out that Robin lied to her and took her son away and all this? How's Hopper and 11 going to get through that wall of, like, tentacles, vines, and monster eggs that's moving? Hopefully some of those things don't hatch. We know that we don't know what creatures are in those eggs. We know that the army has some of them and cut them open, and some kind of weird looking thing comes out, and she just says, like, "Oh, you're cute," right? But it doesn't show what it is. I think it's some kind of new breed of monster. Maybe like a baby Demogorgon, and it grows up. Now, going to this video, where I live at, I found this fame at a store. the mystery blind bags of Stranger Things. I picked up 4 of them. I'm going to open 2 per episode. And you get 11 to 2 surprises to start. Collect all 11. Shows you right there, like who you can get, like Hopper, and all them. So, Eddie with his guitar. So, I'm going to open these randomly, see who I get. I wonder what the type of surprise is. So, the first person I get is... Oh, it's an ice cream cone. Huh. Oh, I got Robin. When she worked at the ice cream shop there in season 3. Huh, that's cool. Oh, see, the ice cream cone fits in her hand there. Let's get that baby right open right up now. Plastic don't taste good. Sorry. No, bear with me. It dropped on my bed. Anyways, I'll find it. Yeah. So this is the first one I got. Robin. And number 2. Let's see who I got at number 2. And I randomly went through the box. I got pulled like 1 out from each column. And I got... Oh, awesome. I got Steve. Wicked. I got Steve and Rob as my first 2. And he comes with... He looks badass. Oh, he comes with that baseball bat with the spikes. That's his necessity. That's awesome. That's cool. Can't wait to see what these other 2 blind bags are. I hope I get all 11 before I have to run out. That's cool. I got Steve and Robin as my first 2 picks. That's awesome. Way to go. Yeah. Stay safe, everybody. Too sweet. Bye.